Alright guys, here we go. We're gonna make a homemade smoke bomb here, and we're gonna be using a mixture of 10 parts wax to 8 parts sugar to 12 parts potassium nitrate. So just bear with me here. I'm kind of using one-handed on this, so I'll go ahead and measure this wax here so you can see that I've got 20 grams of wax. Well, that's pretty damn close. So we're gonna take that, transfer it over here. We're gonna be melting that here in a bit. Get it all out of here. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and measure our sugar, and let's go ahead and take the lid off of this here. And what did I say? We're going to need 16 grams of sugar. So let's go ahead and that'll be alright, 16.4. And what we're going to do is with this sugar, we're going to put it in a blender so there's more surface area for the potassium nitrate and the wax to actually attach to. So I've just got a little blender here. It's a lot like a bullet blender. So we'll go ahead and we're going to want to blend that for probably 10 to 15 seconds. Make sure it's nice and fluffy and broken up. And then we'll mix it in with our weighed out potassium nitrate. Mix it up a little bit. Alright, now that's quite a bit fluffier. So let's go ahead and get our potassium nitrate here. And we're gonna be using, with this ratio, 24 grams. Go ahead and get that. While I'm doing that, let's go ahead and get our oven going here. We're going to put it on a low heat. And we are only using the heat right now to melt the wax. And the kind of wax I'm using is just regular paraffin wax. And what I did was I went to Walmart and I picked up one of these trays here. That's just got a whole bunch of these little tea light wax candles. That's the kind of wax you're going to want to use. You can go ahead and take the fuse out of it and just scoop it up and weigh it out. So let's go ahead and get our potassium nitrate here. And 24 grams. That's just a bit much there. Let's see what we got. Oh, screw it. Alright, whatever. That should be still good enough. So we'll go ahead and take the lid off of the blender here. And make sure with your potassium nitrate you don't have any chunks in there. So we'll go ahead and mix this here to the blender. And I'm not going to be blending this just because it is combustible. And I don't want any friction to accidentally ignite it. So I'm just going to put this lid back on here and just shake it as good as I can. Shake it, give it a good shake for a little bit. And again, this is the mixture of the sugar, the granulated sugar that I put on the blender to kind of grind up and get it a little bit more powdery. And then this is also the potassium nitrate that I've just added to it. Now, you don't want to go ahead and put this right back on here. That'd be a big no-no, because you can combust this. So we'll go ahead and mix that up. We'll check on the wax over here. Looks like we're just about done. Just about melted up. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to actually add a little bit of dye to this. So I actually have not tried this formula yet, so I don't know if if this particular dye will work or not. Hopefully with the wax that I have in there, that's going to cool it down just a little bit so it won't be that hot and it won't actually burn the pigment of the dye out. That's the plan anyway. So let's go ahead, and it looks like all of our wax is melted pretty good. So we'll go ahead and shut this off, remove it from the heat. Set it right here on the stove. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of the dye here. I'm just kind of guesstimating because I haven't really done this with the dye yet before, so I added, I would say probably 10 grams, about 10 grams of it. Let's add a little bit more. Alright. Now let's go ahead and take our mixture here of our potassium nitrate and our sugar. And you want to get this mixing before it starts to cool down and that wax starts to harden back up. So we'll just go ahead and dump that in there. Like so. Let me find my spoon here. And then we'll just start mixing it together. A lot easier with one hand. I mean 2 hands if I had them both available. And you don't want to leave your wax on for too long before you add your chemicals, because that can burn your potassium. Actually, it'll start to burn the sugar, and we don't want that. So we'll just keep mixing this as it goes. Sorry about that. Kids came out for a second. So we'll just keep mixing. We just want to keep the mixing as much as we can, because while it's warm, because while it's still hot like that, if we just stop mixing, you can see the wax actually start to separate from our chemical a little bit, so it's not binding properly. So what we need to do is you just need to keep on mixing it until it cools down just a little bit more. And then you can transfer it into your container, whatever you're going to use. Since I'm just testing this right now, I don't actually have a cardboard container that I'm going to be using specifically for it. I'm just going to wrap it up in some aluminum foil and stick a fuse in it with a little bit of potassium nitrate and just a little bit of sugar, probably like a 90-10 mixture, just to help it get nice and hot so it can burn really good and hot, and then get this mixture ignited. So I think that's okay for now. I'll go ahead and move that. And we're just going to go ahead and grab bits of our mixture here to whatever size we want to make our smoke bomb. Put it on our aluminum foil, and then here in a moment we'll wrap it up. I think I'm going to do 2 separate ones here. And pardon my video, I know it's pretty difficult right now probably watching it. I know it's definitely hard recording this and doing it with only one hand available. I'm gonna do some investing here soon and get a hold of a camera that I don't have to use. Or maybe I can utilize one of my children to hold the camera for me if they'll be quiet and allow me to get this done. It's definitely safe as long as you're safe with the heat. It's definitely a safe project to do. I have done it with my children and they absolutely love the effects with the regular white smoke. Now if you don't want to add color to it, like I said, I don't know if this will work or not. Just don't add the color and it should be good. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to let this mixture sit here and harden, and then we're just going to cut it in half and wrap it up into a ball and put a fuse in it, and I will record that and I'll post it up right after this video. I hope you guys have fun and be safe. Thank you.